This episode of the Ponder Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Montana Ridge Outfitters. You love hunting and the outdoors, and so do we, and that's why we've created a way for you to enjoy it every month. With Montana Ridge Outfitters Shirt of the Month Club, subscribers get a new shirt with one of the top hunting ranches, guide services, or dealers from the United States and around the world. With this shirt style of your choice, members receive a 5x7 color card that has pictures, information related to each month's subjects. In addition, our website features previous month shirts as well as MRO merchandise. Go to MontanaRidgeGear.com and select a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription and begin receiving your packages in the mail the following month. Now, as a member, you will not know what month's subject will be until you receive it in the mail. Thank you for being one of us, and we look forward to supplying you with next month's shirt. Again, that's MontanaRidgeGear.com. Also being a sponsor is Heroes Heating and Air, servicing the North Texas area for your heating and air conditioning needs. They can service your existing unit or design a complete brand new system. Whether it's just for a service or a new install, pick up the phone and give them a call, 940-597-9638. The Lions lose a tough one. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder Football Show, right here on L4 Media and the S2S Sports Network, as Fort Worth Dunbar beats Ponder with a last-second field goal to escape 30-29. Honestly, this was a tale of two halves, and we'll talk about it with the coach. But, again, let's remember that last week Ponder wasn't able to play. Valley View dropped that game one in the summer, and Ponder tried to get a coach or a game. Coach Schultz tried to get a game, and he couldn't. And there is a difference between week one and week two. We talked a little bit about it on this show. We've talked about it on Sideline to Sideline. It's been kind of a theme talking with coaches this year. That week one to week two leap is big, and it might be the biggest leap inside of a season you'll see from kids. The game already starts to slow down in week two. In week one, everything's new for the guys who've never got onto the field as a varsity. This is their first time playing on a Friday night game. And, yeah, it's different than playing on a Thursday night. Thursday night's just way more relaxed. It's way more it's just different. And Friday nights, you've got the crowds. You've got the Friday night lights. It's big boy football. And it's going to take a while. But that week one especially is such a big leap. And it's not that Ponder didn't play. It's that also their opponent did play. And that's where that leap is a big difference. And I think you could see that in the way the game went. You look at that first half, offense has 13 yards of offense, no points. Defense played well. They got Dunbar to turn the ball over a couple times early. But you also saw in that 2-minute drill for Dunbar in that first half, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee you that 2-minute drill in the first half for Dunbar in the first game probably wasn't as crisp. Not that it was super crisp or anything. Ponder let him off a couple times with bad plays, but that's going to happen. And then in that second half, as the game started slowing down for the offense, and they made a couple changes, you saw what Ponder could do, scoring 14 in the third and 15 in the fourth. That's why we play them, though. Get these non-district games to get the guys who haven't had a ton of snaps in varsity, some varsity play. It'll slow down. Good rivalry this week. Going to be taking on Crum. As always, we'll, of course, talk to Coach Schultz about the tough loss against Dunbar and the big matchup against the Bobcats. And we'll do all that when we come back right here on the Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. Terry Bennett back here on the Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder Coaches Show. Now joined by the head coach of the Lions, Coach Marcus Schultz. And Coach, tough loss against the quality team, but you had to see a lot of positives in the game.
No, it was a tough loss. It was, hats off to Dunbar and their kids. They played hard and competed well. But, we came out slow. And so, against any team, it doesn't matter how good or how bad you may think somebody may be. You can't come out and have 3 turnovers in the first half and 12 total yards of offense and expect to win a ball game or try to win a game. And so, I was very, very impressed, and, I challenged our kids at halftime, and we came out the second half swinging and made a few changes personnel-wise, but, we fought back in it and was able to take the lead there late in the third quarter, and then they took it back, and then we took the lead back. And, I told the kids, and it's a lot of it's on me. We were able to score there late, about 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left in the game to take the lead. And I should have probably gone for 2, and I didn't go for 2, or we would have probably gone into overtime. And so as soon as we kicked that extra point, I knew that I should have gone for 2, and I didn't. So, I'm going to take that one on me. I'll take this loss on me, but I was very, very proud of the way our kids fought back, the way that they got back in the game, and the way that they didn't ever give up. But, like I said earlier, we had 15 players. That was our first game, and we weren't fortunate, or I guess we were unfortunate to have to take a bye the week 1 because we couldn't find a game when we got dropped by Valley View. And so having that bye week 1, this being our first game, 15 of our 22 players are new to Friday night. So, that was their first time to be under the lights, and it kind of showed that first half.
Well, and making no excuses, but you bring it up, the fact that y'all didn't play a game, Dunbar did, and every coach will basically say for the young guys, the biggest leap is usually from game 1 to game 2, not only the Friday night lights, but, the adrenaline running, learning to pace yourself so you're not, having cramps in the third and fourth quarter. So not having a game, in my opinion, was a big difference in this one.
Oh, it definitely was. I was hoping that it wouldn't be an issue, and I don't know that obviously it's not the major issue, but it was definitely something. And now that those guys have got a little bit of a feel for it, and we're able to come back and played really well and put up 29 points in the second half of that game, and ended up having over 300 yards of total offense when we only had 12 at halftime. So having 300 yards of offense the second half. I think that gives us a little bit of momentum, and our kids are starting to believe in themselves. And so this week it'll be a true test.
Outside of a 2-minute drill for Dunbar, I felt that your defense played pretty darn good against a very athletic and fast offense.
They definitely did. They definitely did. The defense kept us in the game, especially that first half. Got a couple turnovers, had a couple turnovers the second half. We had a couple things that didn't go our way in that last drive. Had a 15-yard face mask penalty and had a couple things there that got them down there in field goal range. And so, but our defense did play very well. Our defensive coordinator, Jace Cordell, does a great job with those guys and getting them ready to play and putting them in the right spots.
We talked about it in the offseason about how, the way you coach is the best 11 will play. That means some guys will play multiple positions, play both ways. How did you feel that went in week 1?
I thought it went well. I thought that, our kids, we do have about 6 guys that are two-way guys and they get quite a bit of time on special teams as well. And so I think that's what we're going to have to do that throughout the year. But I thought that our kids, played through it. I thought that we had the energy level that we needed to have. And, I liked what I saw out of our guys.
All right. You now move on to take on Crum in Crum. What are your thoughts on the Bobcats?
Bobcats are good. They played a tough Whitesboro team week 1 and fell short to them and came back and beat a Burke Burnett team on the road, 19-16. And so, they've got some good athletes. The little quarterback, Ty Tabor, does a good job controlling the offense. And, they've got a couple good running backs. Number 12, they're one of their receivers is a player. And so, I think we're going to have to be on our A game. Their defense flies around. They do a good job. Coach Caniford does a good job over there. So, I think they're going to be a tough opponent, and we're going to have to definitely come with our A game if we want to come away with a win.
Now, and saying what we said earlier, that biggest leap, week 1 to week 2, even though it's technically week 3 for you, it is week 2. And do you think that's what you're going to see with your team this week, that leap?
I sure hope so. I think that, our kids saw their potential. They saw what they can do. And for them to be flying around the way that they were on defense and the way they came out the second half, I think that the momentum's there. They understand, they know what to expect and kind of know where we need to be. And so, we went from Gage Hurst started the game at quarterback, and then the second half we put Tyson Price in. And so, we'll just see how that goes this week and see who's going to be starting.
Well, you talked a little bit about that going for 2 at the end of the game. And I want to ask you as a coach, you kind of opened a door for me. I've always wanted to ask Coach this. When it comes to going for 2 in those situations, I know people talk about charts and you do what it says. But for you, is it like that, or is it mostly a feel thing, how you're feeling in the moment?
No, I'll be completely honest. At that point in the game, and like I said, I'm going to take that loss. I'm going to take it on my shoulders. And I told the team at the end of the game, I said, y'all, you should be upset, but, the loss falls on my shoulders as your head coach, because I actually got caught up in the game and we got it, jumping around and getting excited there at the end. And but I definitely look at the charts and see, where we need to do and what we need to go for 2. And at that point in the game, we were up by 1 and we needed to go for 2 and we just didn't. And so it's a learning curve for us. My coaching staff, they understand now that they've got to be up in the box doing the same thing. And I've got to make sure that I'm on top of my game when it's time to come to those decisions and make that call.
All right, last question for you. Outside of of course, wanting to win, what do you want to see in this game against Crum for your Ponder Lions?
I think if we come out as a team, I want us to come out swinging like we did the second half. If we come out ready to play, our kids come out with the energy and the enthusiasm that we did that second half and get a little bit of momentum. I just want to see that carried out through 4 quarters and we'll see where it lies when the horn sounds at the end of the game. But it's a rivalry game, so it's a big game, and so anything can happen. And so we understand that and know that. So we know that the emotions are going to be high, and our kids will have to control their emotions early on and make sure that we play Ponder Lion football.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. Terry Bennett back here on the Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder ISD football show, coach's show. I've branded these so many different ways, I always kind of forget. But anyway, thanks to Coach Schultz for joining us as he does each and every week here on the show. And the taking of the responsibility on the 2-point play, that's if you don't know, that's kind of the Coach Schultz is. That's what he does. And not that he's right or wrong, but he'll take the heat. And I like the openness about, hey, we kind of got excited, kind of caught up in the moment. I mean, how can you not? You score late, your first game as a coaching staff, you're going to get excited. But still, I think way more positives out of this loss than negatives. I don't really see any negatives. They'll figure things out. And again, you're going to see a different team this week against the Crump team that's, as he said, 1-1. They lose to Whitesboro, who is looking like maybe they're going to be able to answer what happens with Whitesboro when you lose all their players. They had a great 3-year run, and Cody Fagan, the coach there, his son was at quarterback. He's gone. I think they're returning only like 7 or 8 starters. And to score 49 against Crum, I think was impressive. But then Crum answers back. on the road. Both of their games are actually on the road. This is actually the first home game for for Crum this year. But they answered back with a solid win against a solid Burke Burnett team, 19-16. So again, you talk about that leap at 1-2, that week one difference, 49 points against Whitesboro, given up by Crum, 16. And I do know that who they play matters, but it's still, the point is there. So we'll see what happens on this week. We want to thank our sponsors. Again, Montana Ridge Outfitter, but also Heroes Heating and Air. Also want to remind everybody, if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, email them to me, Terry at s2ssport.com. If the question fits, I will definitely ask Coach Schultz the question. So send me that, and we'll go from there. All right, well, one game down for Ponder. Going to have a fun one against Crum, and we'll talk about all that next week right here on the Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder Football Coaches Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.